Tonight in our 7 News Flashback, the Boeing 747. In 1970, aviation history was made when the first jumbo jet touched down in Sydney. It may seem a little dated now, but it changed Australia's travel habits forever. It was the big plane that made the globe smaller, the jumbo jet.
This is the plane that took Australia to the world.
Pan Am won the race to fly the first 747 into Sydney. A party had been planned for its arrival on the 4th of October 1970, but a mechanical glitch kept hundreds of spectators waiting.
We had all the press and everything waiting for it, and I got here something like 12 hours late, which upset quite a few people.
Brian Taylor was an engineer with Pan Am in Sydney. The new plane presented a steep learning curve.
The instructor started day one off by putting $1 on the top corner of the board. He said, now, every time we find something that's difficult or different about this aeroplane or a suspect, we'll double it. Well, it didn't take very long to get to way over $100,000.
In Boeing's factory in the US, finishing touches were being put to the first Qantas jumbos. This is the first one touching down at Mascot in 1971. Qantas had waited for the second series of the 747, a more advanced model.
The one with the biggest first-class lounge in the skies, with much more room and more windows than other 747s, with wide aisles and wide custom-built seats, with movies and stereo, with 15 washrooms and separate shaver bars.
It was just an extraordinary aeroplane, and it was a passenger magnet.
Australians turned out at airports around the country for a chance to peek inside the plane. Many returned as paying passengers.
Because of its size, it brought airfares down to where almost anybody could afford to fly.
The 747 paved the way for an even bigger giant.
Singapore 380, Air Services Australia welcomes you to Sydney.
In 2007, Singapore Airlines brought the A380 down under. The super jumbo made even the 747 look small. But it isn't the biggest threat to the original jumbo jet. Experts say new planes like the Dreamliner and the Airbus A350 are becoming increasingly popular as they can fly further on less fuel.
Smaller planes are the way of the future because passengers want to travel non-stop, point to point.
But it's a shame to see the 747, but it is an old aeroplane now. It's 45 years old.